Welcome back. It's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review. Today will be a special video as we jump into the time machine and travel back a whole 28 years to the year 1997. Alright, so in the year 1997, I was in college and the live-action Spawn movie came out. In tandem with the live-action feature, there was a line of toys, and we're looking at one of them right here. We have the main character himself, Spawn, as portrayed by actor Michael Jai White. I bought this recently at one of my local collectible toy stores for $15, and for me it's worth it. Like I said before, right now I'm so about just the feels when it comes to action figures. So I've been bitten by the nostalgia bug, and I'm just buying stuff that I might have had back in the day or stuff that I passed up on. I loved the old live-action Spawn movie. It's very campy. It's really a product of its time. But, you know, every year McFarlane's always talking about, a live-action Spawn movie that's in the works, and they've been talking about that forever. But, back in the mid-90s, we actually got one. And with it, this cool line of action figures. The Spawn figure here is incredibly detailed. It's the maskless version. On the back, you can see there's another version of the same figure, but he's wearing the mask on. So I kind of want this one. Awesome assortment of action figures. You have the main villain, Jason Wynn. You have the clown, as played by actor John Leguizamo. You have Burnt Spawn, as he appears when he's kind of like dug up from the grave. You have Al Simmons. This is Spawn before he becomes Spawn. You have the Violator. You have Deluxe Box Spawn with the giant wings. You have the character Jessica Priest, who I think the character was made for the movie, because in the comic books, if memory serves right, I think Al Simmons is betrayed by the Rob Liefeld character Chapel, but they couldn't use Chapel in the live-action movie, so I think they just invented the character Jessica Priest, I think. And then you have Malboglia right here, giant demon, ruler of hell. Other figures, there was the Kiss line of action figures put out by McFarlane, Total Chaos, and the really cool Monsters line. These figures were cool, but a little bit disappointing because they were smaller in scale. But to make up for the smaller size, they kind of came with these cool little playsets / diorama bases. And for Spawn, here are the instructions. He can hold his machine gun in his right hand, and then the bandoliers run across his chest and back, and then the smaller accessory fits in his left hand. Okay, so we have Spawn. Looks awesome. Excuse me. Here's his weapons. And this kind of like drum spins around, which is kind of neat. Here's this smaller accessory. And then there's the bandoliers, which run across his chest. Alright, so let's take a look at the figure itself first. Alright, so we have Al Simmons, now resurrected as the Demon Spawn. And it looks really, really cool. This figure, it feels slightly smaller than some of McFarlane's other action figures. He comes in at a little under 6 1/4, and here it is next to a modern Marvel Legends figure produced by Hasbro. And here he is next to a modern McFarlane Spawn figure. This one's awesome. It's one of my favorite Spawn figures in recent memory. This is Malefic Spawn from the Mortal Kombat line. This guy is so wickedly cool. He completely towers over OG Spawn right here. Gorgeous looking figure. You can see that the paint application is very glossy, so he has a nice 90s shine to him. Beautiful shading and ink work done on like his flesh tones. They applied like an ink wash to really bring out the really gross burnt elements in his face. You know, the ink seeps into the recesses and it really adds volume and realism to the figure. The sculpting is really well done. It kind of takes on the appearance of torn flesh. You can make out his spinal column right there. Keep in mind, movies like Hellraiser were really big during this time period also. So it kind of feels like his design aesthetic is taking a page out of that, out of Clive Barker's creations. And McFarlane and Clive Barker, I believe they actually collaborated also during the 90s. In terms of Spawn's articulation, his head swivels left and right. His arms swivel also. They go upward. Articulated elbows, and I don't want to get too nuts. This one feels a little bit stuck, but it moves. Articulated wrists. There is no waist swivel. The legs are articulated at the hips. They kick up. But this was a design flaw in the 90s. They couldn't figure out how to articulate the legs properly at the hips, so every time a figure would kick upward, since it was cut on a diagonal, the legs would kind of kick out, and they wouldn't be straight. He has a single pinned knee for articulation, and that's pretty much the extent of his mobility. But again, gorgeous looking figure, and I really, really want to hunt down the masked version of this guy. In terms of his accessories, kind of poorly thought out. Like, even though this is his weapon wielding hand, it just it just doesn't hold it very well. There is a peg at the thumb, very small, and it's supposed to plug in right there, but it doesn't attach as well as it should. It does plug in, but it feels like it could be a little bit tighter at the connection point. The other weapon easily plugs in. And then you have the bandoliers, as instructions pointed out. You just sling them over his chest, and then they attach at the back. So yeah, very stoked on this figure. Like I said, I'm all about the feels right now, and for me, I really enjoy collecting these older action figures from my youth. There's some figures I had, then I lost. Others I never picked up. So it's kind of like, for me, just jumping into the time machine and just grabbing some cool little trinkets from yesterday, and this Spawn figure being one of them. I think it's awesome, very detailed, and I really wish McFarlane Toys would revisit the live-action movie and give us updated, modern engineered versions of these action figures, because I kind of think they do deserve it. And who knows when this new live-action Spawn film will come out. It might be another 5 years, who knows. But yeah, very, very happy with this purchase. All right, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.